Do you think it's more important to work on your strengths or your weaknesses? Take a moment and think about that. Most of us are taught to focus on our weaknesses, fix what's wrong, improve where we fail, spend hours trying to get better at the things we struggle with. But what if I told you that's not the fastest path to success or even happiness? Today, we're diving into why focusing on your strengths can make you exceptional, while obsessing over your weaknesses might just make you average. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Psych Talk with Anna. My name is Anna. I am a graduate psychology student currently working with veterans. So let's get into it. Let's start with something called positive psychology. Now, don't worry, I won't get too technical. Positive psychology is really just the study of what makes life meaningful, fulfilling, and productive, not just how to fix problems or think positively. One key idea is something called strengths-based development. Instead of spending endless hours on your weaknesses, you double down on what you're naturally good at. Here's an example. Imagine you have to hire one person, and one is amazing at problem solving, but struggles with public speaking. The other is okay at everything, but exceptional at nothing. Who stands out? The first person, right? Because they leaned into their strength. You want people who are very good at what they do. They don't have to necessarily be good at everything, but really good and exceptional at specific things. And that is how you can become successful too. Let's take, for example, Taylor Swift. She's a huge pop star, loved by many young people, and she's mainly recognized for her songwriting. And that's what she mentioned since she was a child, that she loved writing songs, she loved music, but songwriting was her thing. And even though she knew that maybe becoming famous was not going to happen, she still wanted to be a songwriter. And that's what she worked on. Every day she was writing songs, she was getting better at it. And now she's a pop star.
First thing I started to do, my parents say, is that I used to come home from Disney movies, and I'd be singing the words to the songs that I had heard once in the movie, but I had changed the lyrics to my own. I said, that's not the words of the song, is it? And they go, well, that's the melody of the song, but she's changing the words.
At 5.
Yeah, so songwriting has always been the number one thing. The writing aspect of it. If I didn't write, I wouldn't sing.
Let me give you another different example. So I suck at math, always have, partially because I had terrible teachers who literally traumatized me. But I always loved and I was always good at Italian literature, history, and writing. And I focused on that, but I also put a lot of effort in math because I wanted to have good grades and I wanted to be better. I never really had exceptional grades in math, but I was always passing. But guess what? I still suck at math and I put so much effort into it. So rather than focusing on your weaknesses, because sure, you might get a little bit better, but not extremely better. Whereas if you focus on your strengths, not only you're going to become very good at that, but you're going to be exceptionally better compared to other people at that specific thing. Let me give you another example with this research study. In the Wood and Schumacher study, students underwent speed reading training. They had two groups, students who were average at reading and students who were above average. And those who were already above average readers improved dramatically, doubling or tripling their reading speed, while the average readers only made modest gains, showing that existing skills amplify the benefits of practice and people who already liked reading. So focusing too much on what you're already bad at can backfire. You'll never become great at everything because no one does. And improving your weaknesses takes a lot of time and energy, which you're not spending on focusing on your strengths. And also, improving your weaknesses comes with a minimal payoff. And if you spend all your time on weaknesses, you risk being mediocre at both your weaknesses and your strengths. So top performers don't try to be okay at everything. They master their strengths and either delegate their weaknesses or manage them just enough to avoid problems. And then, yes, of course, there are some people who are literally great at everything, but that's not all of us. So how do you figure out what your strengths are? And most importantly, how do you grow them? Here are some practical ways. First, ask yourself, what does energize you? What feels natural? What makes time fly when you're doing it? Get feedback from friends, colleagues, or mentors. Sometimes others see your strengths more clearly than you do. There are also tools like the VIA Character Strengths Survey or Gallup Strengths Finder that give you a clearer picture. Once you know your strengths, here's how to use them. Focus on roles or projects that match your top skills. Partner with people who complement your weaknesses, and keep improving your natural talents. Aim for excellence, not just competence. Some basic competence in the areas you're weak is still somehow necessary, like a great writer needs decent grammar, a brilliant marketer still needs basic number skills. But the key is this: manage your weaknesses, don't obsess over them, and spend about 70 to 80% of your energy building your strengths, and then the remaining 20-30 making sure your weaknesses don't cause major problems. So let's come back to that question we started with. Strengths or weaknesses? Excellence comes from amplifying what you're naturally good at, not from trying to fix everything that's wrong. By focusing on your strengths, you can stand out, feel more fulfilled, and actually make a bigger impact. Here's a small exercise for you this week. Think about your top strengths. What's the one thing you can do this week to use them more intentionally? Just one small action can be the first step toward mastery. Life is not about being okay at everything. It's about being amazing and exceptional at what you were meant to do. Thank you for listening, and until next time, focus on what makes you shine.